It's a once-in-a-generation investment that can transform this country. 14 letters, poised to modernize our nation's most critical system. But in 2022, infrastructure doesn't just mean fixing roads and bridges.
We need the transportation, we need the grant money to do this.
This week, how the new $1 trillion plan will help promote racial equality,
build up and empower communities, the communities that need it the most,
address climate crises, and make sure kids have lead-free drinking water.
My first hope is that people see this as a bright example of what can be done.
It's Infrastructure Week. This is The Race.
Welcome to The Race. I'm Dan Grossman. When we think about infrastructure, maybe we think about bridges, buildings, or the roads that connect our urban cores to our rural landscape. President Biden's infrastructure bill allots much needed tax dollars to all of those, but also the inequities some believe propelled their development. This week, we're in New York City, where one community is pushing to mend the divides a highway has furthered for decades.
We often see interstates as connectors, a labyrinth of gravel we travel most days without so much as a passing thought. But step into the Bronx, or most communities that have one as its neighbor.
This is a nuisance, right?
And the sounds, the smells, the frustration are impossible to ignore.
Your neighbors are people you often like to be around and see. This is the neighbor down the block that is like a tyrant.
David Shuffler laughs, but after living next to the Cross Bronx Expressway for more than 42 years, he figures what else is there left to do.
So out my door every day, I'm seeing 18-wheelers sort of barreling through my neighborhood.
The Cross Bronx was built in 1955 as part of the massive government project to construct our country's interstate system. When determining its route, however, affluent white neighborhoods were often passed up for predominantly black communities that had little sway in local politics. And David's community was no different. The supposed connector led to physical and racial divides in the neighborhood, which triggered dilapidation and some of the highest poverty rates in New York and some of the highest asthma rates in the country.
I'd leave in the morning and there'd be a film on the window and I'd clean this film off. And then, by the time I'd come home from work, that film would be there again. It wasn't until years later that I realized that that's, the exhaust from the vehicles that are traveling along the Cross Bronx.
That same exhaust is still present on buildings that surround Nilka Martell's home. In the mid-2000s, she started Loving the Bronx, a community group that forced equity in a battle where it felt it had none. First came pressure on local politicians, then a park renovation, then another. And now the group has landed a $2 million investment from the new infrastructure bill to see if the Cross Bronx Expressway can be capped so parks and homes can be built on top of it. It's a move other cities like Boston, Seattle, and Denver have already taken on their interstates. 2016,
we were advocating for this. Everybody thought we were crazy. We'd speak to local politicians, to other community leaders, and they're like, absolutely not. So, we're looking at it, not just as, capping a highway, but the potential of really transforming the Bronx.
The National Center for Biotechnology Information found in the long run, lives and money are saved through capping projects as there are fewer accidents, better air quality, and more outdoor activity, proving that bridging our divides can have concrete benefits.
I'm Alexa Liaco. The neighborhood here is changing.
It's a happy and a sad feeling.
New construction is replacing old housing. But childhood memories can't be bulldozed for longtime resident Selena Ramirez.
Growing up here was just so great. Very diverse community. I grew up with lots of cultures, lots of different languages, just a very tight-knit community.
Although those years were happy, they weren't without struggle. She and her family lived in affordable housing in Denver's Sun Valley neighborhood for 10 years.
We either had to go to Family Dollar or 7-Eleven, which isn't the healthiest options for food, and then they knocked down the Family Dollar, so then you're relying on 7-Eleven, and you don't have transportation. A lot of families don't have cars. You're surviving on like Hot Pockets.
As the affordable housing here was redeveloped, Selena's family was forced to move out of the area.
It's very hard to live. Even in affordable housing, it's not easy to live.
But she wants to move back here as soon as she can.
And I really do want to come back because this is where my heart is. My community is my heart.
Because with this new affordable housing comes a new tenant in the neighborhood. the Decatur Fresh grocery store on the first floor.
The first GROW priority was access to healthy and affordable food. Other GROW priorities included economic opportunities and employment opportunities.
We have limes, we have bananas.
Selena now manages the store.
Oranges.
It provides jobs and affordable fresh food.
Our prices are affordable. We want to make sure that people can come down and actually afford to, shop here.
And the food here is as diverse as the community.
You have to go to like an Asian market to find that.
This single infrastructure investment is solving several problems in the community.
It's thinking about all the different elements of infrastructure, providing spaces like this that bring food to the community, that provide economic opportunity. Those are all so critical to really creating an environment that people want to be living in, can sustain.
Annie Hancock and David Nizavacha of the Denver Housing Authority say now is the time to build these all over the country.
My first hope is that people see this as a bright example of what can be done, how a neighborhood can be transformed. In the last year, the real estate price went up 20% for an average house, and in this year, in 2022, they're projecting the same. Most people can't afford that, right? So the need is great.
As Selena's neighborhood transforms to meet the needs of her community, she's learned all that change can bring even greater success.
Now that it's being developed, people are coming in and they're getting to see the beauty that we grew up with, and they're getting to experience what we experienced, and we're getting to share our community with the world.
For The Race, I'm Alexa Liacco.
Tens of thousands of abandoned oil and gas wells are spewing toxic fumes.
I couldn't just fathom that this was left behind and that people thought that it was okay.
We're asking if new efforts to plug those wells will be enough when The Race continues.